Have you ever noticed that when something airs, there's often an immediate urge to explain it, to clarify, to justify, to tidy it up into a version that kind of makes more sense? But sense to who? To us? To everyone else? For a long time, I thought that was part of the healing, that if I could just get the story right, clear enough, and convincing enough, then the ending would feel settled. It would feel over. What I didn't realize at first was how often that urge to explain was really an urge to control the meaning of what had already happened. We don't live in a culture that's very comfortable with complexity. We like clean arcs from A to B. We like definitive conclusions. So when a chapter ends, especially a long one, there's pressure to revise the story so that it ends cleanly, to decide whether it was worth it, to declare whether it was good or whether it was bad, to make sure it adds up to something sensible. I felt that pressure too, not just from others, but from within myself, as if the ending wouldn't be valid unless I could tell the story properly. What I've learned is this: completion doesn't require revision. Just letting a story be complete doesn't mean you have to rewrite it to justify the ending. It doesn't require us to minimize what mattered, or exaggerate what hurt, or pretend that we were someone that we weren't at the time. For a long time, I thought the only way forward was to reframe the past. But what actually brings peace to me is letting the past remain as it was: complex, meaningful, imperfect, without trying to retrofit it into a cleaner story. The story doesn't need fixing, it needs a place to rest. One of the things I notice is how exhausting it was to keep going back and thinking about the same old chapter just so I could tell the story slightly differently each time. Each retelling demanded that I take a position, to defend, to interpret, to decide what it really meant. And the truth is, I don't always know. Some chapters, they don't resolve into a single meaning. They have multiple truths at the same time. Both love and loss, gratitude and grief, growth and regret. So, as I stop trying to force clarity where it isn't naturally in me, something gets calmer, more me. I'm not avoiding the story. I am allowing it to be finished without demanding that it make sense of everything that's already in the past. For me, completion doesn't come with certainty. It comes with less urgency, less need to revisit, less need to explain, less need to be understood. For me, completion feels like no longer needing to think about or clarify the story every time someone asks a question. I'm getting better at thinking about the past without rehearsing it over and over in my head. The story's chapter doesn't disappear. It doesn't go away. It just stops demanding my constant attention. And that, I've learned, is a form of peace. One of the hardest and also most freeing parts of letting a story be complete is allowing it to contain contradictions. To let something be both meaningful and finished, to know that the past actually mattered and it's not where I spend my time anymore. I don't need the story to prove anything about me. It doesn't need to justify my now, my present. It doesn't need to be redeemed or condemned. It just needs to be acknowledged and then allowed to remain intact in the past. If you're standing at the end of a chapter and feeling the pressure to explain it, to make it make sense, or to rewrite it so that the ending feels acceptable, well, remember this. You're allowed to let the story be complete without rewriting it. Some chapters don't need interpretation, they just need closure. And sometimes the most honest thing you can say about the past is that it mattered and that it's finished. Just a reminder that this conversation is part of a longer series called Quiet Endings and Honest Beginnings. So please have a look. All of them are in the playlist, and that link is in the description. And as always, remember that your past mattered and that your future matters too. Bye for now.